Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to I Words and Upwards. Today it is I, Ivan, with my good friend Alex. We're back for a bit more of a football talk, in particular, post Derby breakdown and pre-Leicester preview. So this is what we're going to do today, and stand by for, I guess, somewhat in-depth discussion of what had happened and what will happen, but we will try and keep it rather light. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good as always. Thank you, sir. And thank you for again having me on the show. Another fine episode of I Words and Upwards to commence.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for being
Yep.
here. And let's start straight to the point. Did you manage to watch
Mm,
the entire game?
no, no, no. Um, for as much as we're saying we're old men and we have to watch games earlier now, we are old men and we
Mm,
fell asleep. How about that? Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
midnight
well,
was a little. Yeah, it was a tough. Oh, you know what? Like 20 minutes in, 20. I got about 20 minutes in. What about you?
23 minutes in precisely, I was sitting there, um, not really understanding why I'm watching this, even though I was really interested in the end result,
Mm.
which we'll talk about it later. But I switched the TV off after about 23 minutes. I could not take it anymore. Wayne, hello, buddy. Very, very good to see you here. Thank you so much for
Afternoon,
joining.
morning, evening.
He's in Australia.
Ah, there you go. Good
So
evening.
he
Or good
just
afternoon, maybe. Yeah.
good afternoon. Yeah, maybe about 3, 4 hours um, away from us. But yeah, I could not watch it any longer. And to be honest, I didn't need to see any more. And then I woke up to um, what we have predicted. It was a 1-1 draw.
So, what do you think it was for you that what you were seeing that I just don't know, similarities, differences? Yeah. What was making you fade away into the abyss of slumber?
Absolute predictability of what I was seeing. All a lot of the times simple things are good, but we going into a what seven games this season.
I think this is the
Yeah,
seventh
yeah,
league game. Yeah.
yeah. League game and the games before, and I joke you not, I could tell exactly where the ball is going to go and what's going to happen. It was everything that Wrexham does is stupendously predictable. It's predictable to the point when you can read it 3 steps, and it doesn't matter. Like on paper, Parkinson changed the formation, but the patterns of the game stayed
Mm,
absolutely the same. And it just the amount of mistakes in the transitions, the amount of mistakes in the passing, lack of build up, lack of rest defense, lack of positional play. I just looked at it. The game looked a mess. It looked an absolute mess. And you know how many messages I got after our last episode when people were texting me saying like you have to have faith, and I saw other pundits giving like it's going to be 2-0, 3-0 to Wrexham. Some even gave even more crazier
mm,
predictions because and we said it's a must-win game. This is the kind of game against Derby. If you are fighting for your presence in the championship, you got to win those games, especially at home. We said it many
mm.
times. It's a must-win game, and I just sat there and I understood that it doesn't matter. Like again, it's living proof of what I was saying over the last 2 years. No matter what formation you take on the pitch, if you don't change the system, everything looks exactly the same. Straight back at you. What did you see?
Um, yeah, I'm going to agree slightly, but also I liked to see a little bit of difference, especially if we focus in on like the 15-minute mark, where it looks like Wrexham actually were playing a strong offensive style of football. So the wing backs actually getting a good some good plays. Kabori and Longman, they actually looked like they were kind of holding their own for a little bit, which was good. And there was quite a few decent shots, like actual decent shots at the goalie. Haven't seen that in a while. Now that's not obviously a reflection on the whole game, because like looking back, I was really went into the analysis of heat maps and the rest of it to see what people were doing. And the majority of the shots came as crosses onto O'Brien, a couple onto Kiefer, mostly, yeah, like either if they're from the long hoof ball or if that's from the wingers trying to, yeah. That's pretty much my kind of analysis of difference in the first bit, but the rest of the game, from what I saw in the highlights only, was pretty much a similar way that they've always played. Yeah.
Yeah, and that reminded me exactly of the QPR game when the opposition, in this case being Derby, they, just like I said, we know exactly what's going to happen. There will be a long ball to the target man up front. There will be a progression up the flank. There will be a cross. They were happy sitting there waiting for that. There was nothing that we haven't seen before. And we did discuss it before many times. I do not want to repeat myself, but I don't confuse execution or a better player playing for the tactical difference. Just because we have Kabora now or Longman on the left, it doesn't mean that the actual approach to the game, the approach of zonal progression had changed. It is still the same thing. It's that's what I mean. Like I could tell exactly, like play by play, what's going to happen. Yes, they run faster, they shoot harder, but at the same time, we witnessed what happened. Nothing came of it.
Yeah, you're still just trying to put another band-aid on another wound.
Yep.
Yeah, so look, I can kind of, it's a funny one because I get why people are messaging you to say, like keep the faith and the rest, because like I guess that's what it comes down to, is it's the staying positive aspect of it. But our chats is not, we don't do these chats just because it's all about singing praises, right? Because everyone's doing that. Just giving like just a breakdown of technical analysis of what we're seeing. That's pretty much what we do, and that's why I really like doing this, because I know on a few of the other shows that I've watched, a few of the other podcasts, like great if you want to go on there and say who's awesome and who's scoring goals and who's doing great and who's going places, but like you're not really discussing what's going on. And I feel like we keep saying the same thing every week now. Like there's no point wasting your time saying that we're doing great when the reality is we're still playing crap football. Yes,
we are. And the thing is that you look at you look at beyond results, like getting a result against Millwall or Norwich, sends people into overdrive. But you have to look at who you play against and what the other team. So far, what I'm trying to say is that the results that were acquired during the season, they were not due to Wrexham performing in a certain way or manner. It was due to the opposition doing certain things, if you know what I mean. Because what Wrexham doesn't change a single bit. And going into the next game right now, going into the game against Leicester away, I have a feeling that again, A, nothing is going to change. B, people are already breaking down. People are on the verge of serious injuries. We can see people holding on to their body parts. being broken down. And a lot of people ask for rotations, which Parkinson never does. A lot of people ask for earlier subs, which Parkinson never does. A lot of people ask for better player manager, which I don't think is going to happen. So what I'm seeing within the next game is there will be a loss, and I think it will be around sort of 2-1 area. And I see the injuries coming through just based on what I have seen this last game.
Yeah, and that's a good point because if we follow back through the kind of the history of injury, Wrexham do seem about kind of halfway through the season, they always get into a pickle of having too many injuries.
That's right.
Every single year it's happened. Is it going to be any different this year? It's probably going to be worse because, as we were saying last year, we've got cup games coming up. I don't think he's going to play a reserve team against Cardiff. Like that's a big game. And then if they magically get into the fifth round, it's most likely going to be a Premier League team. And
Yep.
and just for the embarrassment's sake alone, you will not put your reserves on the field,
No.
which is a shame. Which is a shame because some of those guys won't get a run around either. So the likes of Elliot Lee, who's been, a backbone through the years, has now faded into the distance.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And all those players who really need those cups, they are specifically for that. They are there to make sure that your team B has a good run around.
Mm.
And we see time and time again, if they don't start, the team A comes in as a sub and gets the result. So that adds to the overplaying factor.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, just kind of looking through, what changes he's made in this season, game seven now, and it's
Yeah,
pretty much like he'll constantly try and keep the same strikers.
that's right.
It looks like the Hyam and Cody looks like he's changing those guys up a wee bit. They're both very poor. They've had very poor games. The
Especially
defense,
Cody.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Look, actually, like this, like through the center of the field for Wrexham, like since the start of the season, has been very weak, and I think that's the reason why that might be letting down quite a lot of the build up from the back. Not saying that
yep,
Clueworth, Brunt, or those guys are any better because they just don't talk to their wing backs. They just hoof it, right? So there lies the problem with the breakdown in defence.
the
It's a lot of
um,
it's painful. It's just very amateur football, and then that's the reason why championship strikers they know how to read these what the defense is going to do, and the reason why there's turnover after turnover, and we're seeing brilliant strikes like what's his name Diaz's
yeah,
strike
wow,
Derby just
wow,
he turned the defender inside out and slotted it from a good 25 yards out or something.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, like
Made it
30 to
made it look easy.
25. Yeah, made it look easy. But the thing is that again, a lot of people don't really ask the right question. Everybody is talking about how people get pulled out of position. There is no midfield play, but you will not get a midfield play if you do not start setting up your rest defense from the build up. We
Mm,
I say it time and time again. We have great players for this level. We have solid mid-table team. We don't have coaching. There is very little patterns, especially in the build-up that connect the boxes. So if there is a build-up box from your third zone that goes into your midfield, if you rotate your double pivots from strong to weak side, if you push the ball up while maintaining your structure and setting the rest defense in case of a transition, that
mm,
changes the patterns. People get put out of position not because they are slow. And I say it time and time again, it's not because they are slow. It's not because they are not talented or they're not switched on. It's because the way the team shaped going up doesn't even give you a chance to be prepared for a transition, for a hand, for a turnover. And that's why it seems like people are out of position when they are not. They are in position, but they're not on the same page. There is no patterns.
Mm.
There is no approach. Like you can see it every time. The only guidelines they have is to either fight for a second ball of a target man, or try to do a wall pass or a long pass in a in what they call a channel, which is not even a channel. And I gave up understanding why people call it a channel, but it's just a uh, it's a scoop pass beyond the flanking defender for a
Yeah.
winger to run in. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not a pass into a channel. That is a pass for a race. When
Yeah.
you do that, you are guaranteed to get your rest defense out of position, and you are guaranteed to be vulnerable on the transition. And it happens. That's what I mean. Every game, I see the same stuff to the T. To the T, I see the same plays.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit of a pity. Bit of a pity. Let's talk about Josh Windass.
Mhm.
Looked like he was on fire the previous game, and then just very flat in this game. Probably one of his
Yeah,
worst games that he's played so far.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
do you think it's not working up front with him and Kabori? Do you think they were just too busy trying to find O'Brien and Kiefer on the long ball? What do you think is going on up front?
Do you remember how I said that the win against Norwich? Again, I say it again. Norwich didn't want to be there, but the win
Mm,
against Norwich came down to just so happened that Windass had a great game. If it
yeah,
wasn't for Windass, that would have been a loss. And now we have witnessed Windass not having great games. The
yeah,
thing is that I said it time and time again. The opposition studies you, and they understand how to position your defense with regards to the most, um, let's say, most reliable threat that is being produced by the opposition. So right
yeah,
now we have crosses coming in from Kabore and coming in from Longman that are inconsistent. If you are playing a game of crosses, you need to know exactly where that cross is going to go. You need to have a preset understanding of where the receiver of the cross is going to be in each particular situation, depending on the tempo, depending whether it's a first wave, a second wave, depending if you're playing a wide triangle. With Wrexham, cross goes in, it's spray and pray every time. Over this time, over over these moments where Windass is not performing right now, he literally just couldn't guess where the ball was going to go. That's simplifying it a lot, but that's exactly what it is. It's not it's lack of coaching, relying on crossing game, not knowing where the ball is going to go.
yeah. I hear you. One thing that stood out for me actually in a positive of the game was there was only one yellow card to Wrexham. But I think that was a bit more of a disciplined game to what we've seen.
Good that you brought that up because I think somebody paid the referee handsomely because Wrexham should have had at least one red and there should be a penalty given and Derby should have scored that penalty because
Ah,
I
that
don't
was that
know.
game. Oh yeah, no, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
if you're talking about the last game against Derby, that is, bro, that red card, twenty
yeah,
four
there should have
seven.
been a red card. There should have been a red card. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
it looked horrible, and I don't understand. Like they Derby could file an official complaint, and that ref should not be refing anything apart from Sunday league games.
yeah,
Dog.
yeah. So
Yeah, and and the penalty was a solid one too. So yeah, great.
that's right. Wayne, he did score the goal. So yeah, like if the referee had done his job, that's right. If you go back and I watched that back a few times just because I'm pretty sadistic. Um, a lot of the people said on the
Masochistic.
comments as well. Yeah, 100%, 100%. He looked like he'd snapped the guy's leg. Like, and it
Yeah,
was running from. It was like 5 meters away from the referee.
it's
So
beyond my understanding. So yeah, that's Yeah, and when it's
tell me
saying, yeah,
how he wasn't sent off. Yeah.
I do not get it. I honestly do not get it. Somebody paid the guy off handsomely. That's all I can.
Yep.
That's all I can say. It's
Anyway, so apart from that thing, I think the rest of the game looked like it was actually maybe they'd got a bit of a fright. Um, people were saying that Derby were lucky on the other side that there should have been a second yellow to, I think it was one of the wingers. He took out one of our players. He was already on a yellow, and they called. I think he'd taken out Kabore on the run actually. Um, yeah, and
That
he
was
should have been sent off.
yes. Was the referee trying to even it out a little bit? Maybe. You
Yeah,
know, one this way, one the other way. Um, Lack of yellow cards. I honestly think that uh, the fact that Derby, as weird as it sounds, Derby was. It felt like they were in control. It
mm,
felt like they were like, if anything, Wrexham kind of huffed and puffed, and Derby knew again because it's so predictable. They knew exactly what was going to happen, and
yeah,
they were fine with that. Yeah,
yeah,
square up. That's right. That's right, Wayne. Just square up. But look, everything when you talk about cards and when you talk about going a one man down or getting a penalty, it's all about timing. It
yeah,
really depends on when it happens and how it happens. Red card in this particular moment of the game and in that particular moment of the game is a completely different thing.
yeah,
But yeah, lack of yellows, I can only sort of attribute it to just a controlled state of the game.
yeah. So look, if it had gone the way that it should have, and player sent off, then yeah, 100%. Yeah, O'Brien gone in an early phase of the game. Wrexham weren't winning that with 10 men. I think that's the
Nope.
reality of it.
Yep.
Also,
And so, sorry,
Ocon,
Alex,
no, yeah,
and to
yeah,
add that you're absolutely right what you just said. But then 99% of the podcasters out there and the people the punditry around, we lost 2 points, guys. You're actually freaking lucky to get away with a draw.
mm,
Talking about
um,
like what on what planet people are, it's just beyond me. Yeah,
I think a big part of it, we talk about all the other players on the field, but Okonkwo having a hell of a game. I think he
that
made
guy.
some awesome saves, and he really kept them in it for that game. And
Yeah.
I know we don't give him much praise on the show, so I just think that was it's definitely worth noting that he kept them beyond in the game. Because, man, what about the pass back, the Derby? He passed it back and it hit the post. And
Yeah,
he scored.
yo, bro.
That was
That was
brilliant.
so. Yeah, look, yeah, it's one of those freaky situations. But I gotta say that yes, Okonkwo, look, a great shot stopper, and so good for him that we're not trying to play from the back. That he just gets to launch the balls forward because otherwise it would make it a hell of a lot harder for them. But keeping the ball out of the net, can you just do that? Would you do that, please? And thank you very much. He's the guy that we want.
Man, he must feel like punching those defenders sometimes, eh? They just leave him
Yeah.
high and dry a lot. They leave him high and dry a lot, especially
Did
our
you
centre
notice
backs.
on that? Did you notice that 3-4-3 was employed under
Mm.
whatever system that was? But have you noticed the difference at all?
Sorry, when they have the 3-4-3.
No, no. Wrexham played 3-4-3. Everybody is just
Okay.
talking about it nonstop. That Parkinson changed the formation. Have you
He
noticed the
moved
difference?
Did he forget to let someone know?
That's exactly what I thought about.
Damn,
Who was
damn,
promised?
who did I tell?
Yep.
Um, 3-4-3.
hmm
Um, Not like it
Have you
makes much of a
noticed a
difference.
change?
No, because no matter if they have five at the back, four at the back, at three at the back, like they're not doing their job. They are not doing their job. Yeah, they don't play it from the back because you can have 10 at the back, one at the back, but they're all going to do the same thing. They're going to hoof it up.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's no
Yep.
point.
No,
It
that
doesn't matter where you have them. Like, said like for a small period of the game, you had Kabori and Longman sometimes getting the ball, sometimes it was just like a small moment of brilliance, and then for the rest of it, it just went back into the usual play.
Yep. No, that's absolutely correct. And
Mm,
I'm just that is a good segue into what's going to happen the next game. So we're going away, playing Leicester away.
mm,
Um, uh, the fact that I hear people talking about how we're going to win the next couple of games makes me very curious about what is the reasonable rationale behind it. Look, things can happen, anything can happen, but we're going away to a team that, yes, they had they had mixed results, but the coach is it's Cifuentes. He's a very Cruyff-like when it comes to his football. He's a positional play through and through.
yeah.
He's a guy who likes his structured build-up. He is. If I, it just so happened that I watched a bunch of highlights and I actually watched a couple of games of Leicester, and when they are playing from the back, I can see that their fullbacks are very flexible in the way uh, they provide options for the
Mm,
build up as such for the zonal progression. They are high in possession. They are aggressive in the pressing. They're aggressive in the res defense. They play for 4-2-3-1, so variation of 4-5-1, high pressing system, and they quite often invert their fullbacks, um, and they actually do play back three in the build up, and they are employing those double pivots depending on what their position is doing. So they do everything that Wrexham doesn't, literally. And I'm I'm looking forward to watching that game. I think they gonna if they stick to their guns, if they don't fall into the if they don't try to brawl the brawler, if they try to box the brawler, I think it's
hmm
going to be a very good game for them.
No, absolutely. Yeah, just looking at a bit of a breakdown for that upcoming game. Yeah, so Leicester, who are sitting fifth in the league, um, so they're unbeaten in five, but their last three games have been a draw, and that's including cup games. So, but just overall,
Mhm.
they haven't scored a goal in the last two games. One being an own goal, so it doesn't count.
Yep. Yep.
They're sitting on a +3 goal difference.
Yep.
As you said, they play a 4-2-3-1. The guy that they have up front, he's a bit older, but still a
Hmm.
goal scorer. The
Hmm.
guy to watch is Mavadavi. He's uh,
Hmm.
he's hot right now. He's doing good.
Yep.
Um, yeah, they do. They play fast up the middle football. Not many crosses. They were turning West Brom inside out. It was a shame, that they drew that game because I really thought that they'd kind of dominate it in possession. Um, so looking at their kind of track record, I'm calling a 2-0 win to Leicester. Um, because they're sitting good, but they know that they're going to have to put quite a dominant display in their next game because they've had a few draws now, because they've been on relatively poor form
Yep.
in
Yeah.
comparison.
No, I agree with your description. My prediction would be 2-1 to Leicester. Um, uh, However, it just really depends on how early the first goal is scored. Again.
Yeah, like what's going to happen? It's because if Wrexham do score a goal, they will sit and park the bus against a team
Yeah.
like Leicester because Leicester
Yeah.
have got a better team. Why? Because they're a relegated Premier League team. They've got
Hmm.
they've got very good reserves,
That's
or
right.
subs, should we say? So like they've got depth that can outrun Wrexham. If Wrexham lose the wind out of their sails in the second, then that's when Leicester will capitalise. So the worst thing that Wrexham can do is park the bus at any time. So if Wrexham do score early and you say it's a 1-0, then it'll be an easy 2-3-1. Um, But the way that I kind of see it is that the possession is going to go Leicester's way, and it's just going to be quite a dominant display of strong midfield football from Leicester. As you said, like having they've got young midfielders as well. I know they've got a couple of older guys, as said, but they've got young guys who will definitely be able to dance circles and rings around the out of position Wrexham defence. So I think that's going to be quite clear to see. I can definitely see that happening. Okonkwo is going to have another tough evening to go up against those strikers.
Yeah, get ready for a workout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, I agree with you. My gut feeling tells me that Wrexham is going to try and force a Millwall-style game when they will try and start imposing themselves physically and being quite aggressive. In this case, that will play exactly into the Leicester's hands because, from what I have seen, the CBs and the goalkeeper, they actually like to attract pressure. And from there on, the fullback will usually tuck inside, and then they create what's called a 2-3 base. From there on, they will push out 2-3 to create effectively a 2-3-5. So that gives them that quick transaction of the ball in the transition with a wide triangle. So effectively, they don't play panic balls. They are ready for that press, and that's, I think, because operationally Wrexham is often very weak, and if they do exactly what I'm describing right now, they will Leicester will almost be happy with that press, with that aggressiveness, and it will almost assist them in that controlled progression up the thirds, which I think is the key to a good build-up play, because if you create your chances with wide triangles, with half space occupation, with your winger inside tens attacking the box while you have underlaps and overlaps coming from the depth, that reacts to the press accordingly. So you have to be adjustable, you have to be fluid, you have to read what the opposition is doing, you have to read the press. And Wrexham's press has been horrible. It's dislodged, it's disorganized. I am struggling to find intelligent triggers in that press altogether. They just run at the opposition, and if they do that, that will be a decider. I think that's how Leicester is going to win that game.
Yeah, the biggest thing that Leicester will be focusing on is getting the ball on target, because like that's one thing that they've kind of struggled with. So a lot of the teams they've gone up against, stronger defense, smarter defense, faster defense. So yeah, I really think that's gonna be the one that they need to start making a bit more of a name for themselves. They know that they're going to start struggling otherwise, and
Look, I think it's the table right now is taking shape. It is taking shape. The 10 games is always a big milestone, and we're approaching it really fast. So with Leicester, I guess, not being satisfied with the last 3 games, that will be a good game for them to actually go and sort of solidify themselves and prove the point. Because right now, if they win the next game and everything else goes the way they want to, they can jump up to third place or even second if they're lucky. So for them it's a must-win game. It is a must-win game. That's when you leapfrog a lot of the teams, and you got to win. Like the team placed in the top half of the table has to win at home against 15th place, extremely predictable, mediocre, lackadaisically coach side. That's just the way it is.
Yep. No, absolutely. Just going a little bit off topic, but for all the Stephen Fletcher fans out there, it was in the news today that he's retired from football at the age of 38.
I know, man. Uh,
He was
that
great to
guy
watch.
is.
Yeah,
Oof, he's a magician. On the level that we have seen him play at Wrexham, he's the one who got Wrexham promoted. He has at least 50% of that success on his shoulders.
League One. I think the League One promotion was pretty much him alone,
Yes,
in a way.
and
He,
just the
yeah,
just the way he was dismissed after that,
yeah.
it's very very interesting. And to be honest, I think he's such a wise, smart football player.
Mm.
I would I would as a coach, I would find a way to use him in the championship.
I think so. I think, if he just didn't get played as much, he didn't need to get played that much.
Yeah,
He was a good impact off the bench player. Really good that he would come on second half and he would just win the game. He would just know how to get a goal from nothing, using some of that magical Scottish talent of his.
yeah, yeah.
He, yeah, just a brilliant player to watch. And how many games he rescued or won for Wrexham,
Late
who knows?
goals. Yeah, yeah. I know, man. I know.
He was a finisher.
It, he, in, incredible brain, incredible football brain, especially for a striker. Just I yeah, I'm happy that I have watched him play these last few years. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, he's done wonders for the team, for Scotland, and yeah, what a player. And you always want to see those guys keep going on and on, but 38's a great age to bow out. I think he'd been injured a few times, and you got to think to yourself, well, if you're not getting any younger, then don't destroy your body anymore. Um, I was actually watching in one of David Beckham's interviews as well that he said that like he would have carried on for a lot longer, but he said to the point when you get into your mid to late 30s and you can barely get out of bed, and you say to yourself, well, what's the point? I've done everything I need to do. I've won things. I've got promotions. I've played for my country. I've broken some records. It's time
Yeah.
to hang up the boots, and good on him for doing so. Will he go into coaching? I really hope so, because he's very smart.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no one might understand him, but
How no? No, man. He has had a hell of a career,
yeah,
and I wish him a happy retirement, and I hope to maybe see him on one of those football shows one day, talking about football, because it will be. I think we all have a lot to learn from that guy.
yeah. I think Fozzie will probably get him in there. Have a have a
Yeah,
few chats with him at some point.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it
it'll be
would
good.
it would make for a good podcast. Um, so tomorrow, New Zealand time, the game is what 7:45, I think it is.
7:45. Yeah.
Yeah, you're planning to watch? Can you? Will you?
No, I'll be working, but I can
You'll be
probably sneak it on in the
working.
background and
Yeah,
listen to the live stream maybe.
yeah. I'll try
But
to
yeah,
watch. But I so we got them in Birmingham. Um, tough run, man. Tough run, and
oh yeah, this is the gauntlet now.
yeah,
I think the game against Coventry. I think is that towards the end of October. That just looking at Coventry's their what you call it track record right now, that's going to be a very tough game, and I think Stoke is quite close to that game as well. So and
mm,
also Birmingham, as you said as well.
yeah.
It's
Well, they
it's going to be
they
really
did.
difficult for Wrexham not to be sitting in the relegation zone after those three games.
Yeah, yeah. Birmingham had a really mixed bag of results, and they will be eager to get some points on the board. Wayne is saying that I retired when I had another year of contract left. I had just turned 28. I felt like I was 82. Yeah, buddy, I hear you. It's well, you also did play rugby, which is I guess a lot more injury prone. of a sport. And I guess from what I understand, you played up front. I don't know much about rugby, but um, I don't blame you. Like I had to retire from my service career and everything else and get a spinal fusion essentially because of that same thing. I found myself in my mid 30s literally crawling to the bathroom in the morning because I couldn't stand up the injuries, and I know exactly what it feels like. Both shoulders dislocated multiple times. Like I had to do so much rehab, it wasn't even funny. So yeah, the thing is that the football players get enough money to actually carry on if they have to finish their career abruptly. When people in other walks of life, um, we're in a different boat. So
I think it's almost lucky for some people playing sports to get to the mid 30s to 40s still playing, like on that level. It's
bro, that's what it's been happening only what over the last maybe 10, 15 years when people are playing well into their 30s. Before
yeah,
that, through 80s, 90s, you're in your late 20s, you're done.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was normal.
I think that, the saddest thing is as well. You see in rugby now is hits on the head. So I think they're doing the head checks now. They're not doing that in football, but you see a lot of old footballers. Well, sorry, footballers from olden times, 70s, 80s, dying young because of the amount of knocks
Yeah,
to the head and that. That's a whole different discussion for
yeah.
another day. Um, but yeah, it's just, you said 38, there's very few that can carry on past that. Zlatan, he's not human. Um, yeah,
Well, look,
it's how you maintain
everybody.
yourself. It's just genetics. There's so many different factors,
Yes,
right?
yeah, and I strongly believe it's also the position that you're playing, and
Yep,
it's
good point.
you know how it is in hockey, for example. There will be certain players that um, you just you're just not allowed to touch, and if
Mm,
they are touched, you will get your teeth punched in straight away. So nobody is gonna sit back and you will get people skating up to you from left, right, and center trying to take your head off. So
yeah,
same, I think pretty much same happens in football. Like there are certain players that just well they're not allowed to be touched. So no no rough tackles. And you look at the greatest of the modern generation, you don't really think about them as somebody who is, you know, going into tough challenges all the time.
yeah,
I felt
indeed.
18 again after a year of stopping. Yeah, wear and tear, continuous stress on the body. It's yeah, but good on you, Wayne. I mean, look, if you know when to stop and how to manage yourself after, it's kudos to you, buddy. It's I hope you last long and you enjoy your recreational activities and sports. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Hey, well, I think we've covered our points. We've definitely we've definitely kind of set the tone for this Leicester game. So be great to see Wrexham get some kind of result, but just we're here about facts, not about fairy tales.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Unless unless Leicester, so basically so far, every time Wrexham gets a result, it was not due to them doing something special or different. It was due to the
mm,
other team malfunctioning, or choosing a wrong way to go for the game. So
yep,
I do not expect any fundamental changes. I feel like it's going to be more of the same old, and Leicester will know what Wrexham is going to do to a point.
yep,
Parking the bus, parking the bus from get go and playing for a draw is a big no-no. Trying to press high and run at their position will also lead to a lot of problems being cut off and caught on a lack of a rest defense. So, in all honesty, I don't know what Wrexham needs to do in order to get a result. In this case, I just, I just don't.
we'll have to see. We will have to see. But I'm sticking by my predictions because I don't want to start contradicting myself on the what ifs.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we'll
you're going for
call it how it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. Well,
Okay, brother.
thank you very much. Thanks, Wayne,
Yes.
and we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow morning.
Yeah, indeed. Into the next one.
Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.